driving here in Orange County, and it's showtime in 2 hours. Why is it I get remotely close to the radio show and we got a bumper-to-bumper traffic jam? Why?
And The Godfather rocked it on the Nug Life. Big thanks again, man. That was fantastic. We'll be right back. At the bounce house, maybe a pinata if we get wild.
After party at the house.
ACHELOIS.com is where you can find the Achilleos product. And thanks, Tim. Governor Jerry Brown signs protection for cannabis users seeking organ transplant, not orange transplant, which is very good news for our friend Justin Turley, who is having issues because he was failing the cannabis part of the test and was being denied an organ. Unlimited hemp cultivation, now legal in Connecticut. Yay, Connecticut. This is the Nug Life Radio Show, a higher level of education for the cannabis counterculture community at 760-798-3127. I am your host, cannabis comedian, and just an enthusiast. I love everything green. Medicinal Mike. Usually here with us is Dr. Wayne Kelly. He'll be in later on today. But who we do have is the correspondent, Benji Cooper.
How's it going, Mike?
Oh, better now that I turned your microphone on. We're here also. Benji Garcia Reyes from Radio Nug Life, or Nug Life in Espanol if you don't speak Spanish.
Hey.
Also having a field day on the sound bars there.
I have fat fingers, Mike. You know that.
We have a great show planned for today. We have from WWE WWF, The Godfather.
Yeah.
A.K.A. Papa Shango, a.k.a. Kamal. Was it Kamal? In when he was with The Rock. It was the Nation of Domination.
The one I most remember him as was The Godfather.
Yeah, he had the whole train. And we're going to find that sound clip for later so we can listen to it. It's going to be fantastic. He's going to be in, and he's a very important person talking about very important things, and what that is cannabis therapy over opiates for sports injuries. So a lot of these wrestlers, they wrestle their whole lives, and they're just beating themselves up. I mean, of course, for the most part, they're not really punching and kicking, but they are falling and taking the drops.
Mm-hmm. All that is very real.
Yeah, and the pain afterwards, you know, the opiate addiction either causes early death. I mean, if you look up any of your heroes from the 80s or anybody else in WWF, they're all dead.
Most of them are. There's an article around right after Ultimate Warrior died. Remember, he had that great speech. Ironically, 2 days later he dies. But then there was an article about most of the.
I heard that was like a suicide note, like a video suicide.
No, I think his heart just collapsed or something, right? He just died.
No, the video speech.
Oh, no, it was. You know, I saw his speech on video. You know, and then he happened to die later. But I saw an article about how a lot of these guys from like WrestleMania 10 or something, a lot of them are dead. Having to deal with something like that. So if it wasn't those injuries, it's also some of them have done steroids, and that hasn't been, you know, very good, and they have to deal with it.
Well, they also have Rob Van Dam, who speaks out for it. X-Pac, I don't know his real name, but he was the 1-2-3 Kid.
Yeah. Oh, I remember him.
He speaks out for it. And it's fantastic. So The Godfather is going to grace us on the show today. He's going to bring the Ho Train to the Nug Life Radio Show and speak out as a celebrity cannabis activist. So it's very important out there. If you've made a name for yourself in the industry, entertainment, man, get out here, find our show, find anybody's show. Be Real TV's got a bunch of shows, and get out there and speak for cannabis and speak educated and know what you're talking about so that you teach the younger people the right things so that they're not having all kinds of negative stigmas and all that kind of stuff. Very happy to have in later. We're going to have Jeff Waters. Jeff Waters suffers still, I'm guessing, from COPD, cardiopulmonary disorder. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. But he was on a breathing mask. He looked like he weighed 500 pounds. He lived 1 foot in the grave. You look at him at the picture and you're like, this man is going to, you know, he's on his way out. But he has used cannabis and, you know, along with a bunch of, you know, healthier living, and he is now just a specimen of human health. I mean, this guy is just ripped up and looks 40 years younger.
Wow.
Which means he looks 2. No.